Hey, what's up guys, Marco here. Welcome back to another video, a slightly different video today. I want to walk you through all the gear that I use to record my music, record my guitars, and record my YouTube videos. Now, of course, we're gonna start with the guitars and the strings that I like to use, and then I'm gonna walk you through the mics that I love the most, and I'm gonna show you how I like to mic the guitar so that I get the tone that I like. And then I'm gonna walk you through the audio device and the computer, the software that I like to use to edit my music, and also all the plugins that I love the most. Now, before we get into it, let me just tell you right away, guys, that you don't need to use the same gear that I use. Of course not. You can get the gear that you like that could be cheaper or more expensive than the one that I use. The most important thing is that when you buy a piece of gear, you are happy with it. And so, for example, you can get any guitar that you want as long as when you play it, it feels comfortable, you like it, and it inspires you to play the music that you love. So trust your ears when it comes to gear, but also, guys, check your pocket. Some of this stuff can be insanely expensive. Beautiful, great quality stuff, but expensive. Now let's talk about guitars, the most important thing. Of course, you need to find a guitar that you like, a guitar that when you play it allows you to express your feelings, express your emotion through the instrument. Now, over the past few years, I've been using mainly two guitars, the Eko Massimo Varini Signature, which I love, and the Furch Yellow Master's Choice, which is an awesome guitar. Now, they are both great. I love them both. The Eko is way cheaper than the Furch, and the thing that I love about the Eko is that it sounds amazing plugged in thanks to the built-in condenser mic. It's a great guitar. It's a little bit smaller in size, so it's just a lovely thing to play, and I've been loving this guitar since I got it from day one. Now, the Furch is also a beautiful and lovely guitar. It has a little bit more volume and dynamic range than the Eko, so I really like to use it when I record with mics. Now, playing and recording with such light strings works for me, guys, but I don't recommend it because you have to set up your guitar specifically for such thin strings. So if you don't want to have headaches, just stick with the things that you like. For example, 11. But I also know acoustic guitar players who actually set up their guitars with 12 or even 13 sometimes. Now let's talk about mics, which are pretty important when you record an acoustic guitar. Now, I like to record my music in stereo, and I have the 4040 pointing at the neck at around the 12th fret, and then the Shure pointing at the bridge. Now, guys, I'm not sure if this is the right way of doing it. Again, I always just trust my ear. Sometimes I find that, the guitar sounds slightly different every time I record. Of course, it makes sense. But most of the time, 90% of the time, I get always the same result, which is this nice, lovely stereo sound, which is already pretty good. It has, a nice low end with not too much brightness, which is what I like when I record and play my acoustic guitar. If I have to record something real quick, so I don't have time to have two mics and to edit two tracks, I will just use the 4040 pointing at the neck. I also use the 4040 to record my YouTube videos, so to record my voice and the guitar. So every time you watch a YouTube video such as this one, the 4040 is right next to the camera recording the voice and the guitar. Now, once I recorded my guitars, I will get to the desk and start editing the tracks. However, guys, we can't get the tracks into the DAW, the digital audio workstation, without an audio interface. Now, in short, guys, the audio interface is a piece of hardware able to receive the electric signal passing through the mic cable. So the mic picks up the sound of the guitar and converts it into one electric signal that passes through the cable and goes into the audio interface preamp, which boosts and converts the signal, which is then recorded into the DAW. Of course, the quality of the preamp inside the audio interface makes a huge difference in how the recording sounds. You know, if you have a great, awesome microphone, but then a cheap audio interface, you are basically getting this beautiful electric signal, which sounds great, and then you pass it into a cheap preamp, which is going to basically make it sound bad. Now, I personally use Universal Audio. This is the Apollo Twin. Beautiful, excellent quality, and awesome plugins as well. Now, the Apollo Twin has two preamps and a jack input if you want to plug your acoustic or electric straight in. Now, one of the cool things that I love about Universal Audio is the low latency, as it runs through its console software, which is also pretty good and it looks beautiful. However, the price is not funny. Now, once I've recorded my guitars, I will then put everything in Logic Pro. Now, let me show you the plugins that I like to use. Of course, now we have two tracks. The number one, which is the Audio-Technica 4040, and the number two, which is the Shure 137. Now, this is the sound of the Audio-Technica 4040. And this is the Shure 137. So the Shure was actually a little bit louder than the 4040. So we're going to use a few plugins to make things even and add some effects. Now, the first thing I will do with the tracks, I will pan left and right, so that we can have this nice and lovely stereo sound. I usually use 50. So then now we have it's nice and lovely sound. We can then work on each track and add a few plugins. I mainly use 4 plugins: a preamp, compressor, EQ, and a reverb. Now let's just work on one track. Let's just use the 4040, just put it back at 0. And the first thing I would do, I would add a preamp. And I'm gonna use the Universal Audio plugins, and I'm gonna be using the 610, which is pretty good. I'm just gonna do it mono. And I will just, add a little bit of level to the track. So it sounds like this. So it really just adds a little bit of body to the guitar. The second thing, I would add a nice EQ. Now this one is already pretty good, and as you can see, you don't really need that much, to be honest with you. And the third thing I would do, sometimes, not all the time, I can add a compressor as well, which I will be using the Legacy, the LN, which is pretty good as well. So it's already right on your face. And then once we have that, we can just add a little bit of room. Now, as you can see, the guitar is already pretty good. You don't really have to add that much when, you know, the audio interface is good. But of course, we can add a little bit of reverb to this thing. And I'm going to be using actually a plugin from LogicProX, which is the Chroma Verb. And I'm going to do in mono because we are editing in mono. And what I'll do, I will bring this one, I'll usually bring the level down. I don't want it to be, you know, right on your face, and I will bring this one up. Sometimes I like to have it a little bit with a stronger attack, and about, you know, between 5 and 6 seconds long. And one thing that I can do, I can also get rid of the high frequencies. Now this is pretty good. Of course, we can do the same thing with the other track. Now once we have both tracks, we can then pan left and right again, and this is what we have. Again, guys, I can't stress that enough. You don't necessarily have to use the same plugins that I use. Absolutely not. You can find your own, you know, style and your own way of doing things, your own workflow. So just keep trying different things, keep experimenting until you find the sound that you love. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Let me know if you like it in the comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. It's always, you know, appreciated. So enjoy this video, and I'll see you soon.